I'm feeling really good today. All right, guys, welcome back. I'm Dr. Amory Wild, and this is Dr. Faith Nelson, and we have a great information for you today. We're talking about the liver. And
we don't have our microphones on.
Just kidding.
We're gonna restart that.
And one of us is paying attention because
I was like, you are way too tired or quiet, and then I was like, oh, it's fine. And then I'm like, not fine. We don't have microphones on.
Feeling great today. We remember everything.
Mine isn't wanting to turn on. Does it need to be Joe? Oh, there it goes. Okay, it's green.
I almost forgot to turn it on. I put it on. I just didn't turn it on. Apparently, I'm doing really good at.
Now we're ready.
Now we're ready. All right, guys, welcome back. I'm Dr. Amory Wild, and this is Dr. Faith Nelson, and we have some great information for you today about the liver. And the liver actually has a lot of surprising benefits and uses in your body, so you definitely want to listen to the whole thing. Even if you don't think you have liver issues, I think you'll be surprised about how many of these symptoms you might actually have. All right, so what does the liver do?
The liver does a lot. It was surprising to me when I learned about the liver, how much it does and everything it does. It actually is huge. It weighs 3 to 4 pounds and takes up this huge part of your body, actually over on this side. And anyway, it pumps through 3.2 pints of blood every minute. It attaches to all these different places. It attaches to the front abdominal wall, the right kidney, the large intestines, the duodenum, the esophagus, the stomach. And why that's important, it attaches through ligaments. Why that's important and why I bring it up is because if one of those areas is having issues or struggles, the liver is going to have issues and struggles. Or if the liver is struggling, it's going to cause those areas to struggle as well. There's a connection there because that the ligaments that hold them all together. And so I think that's important to know for people. The liver also does 500 different functions, which is amazing. And
it is amazing because people think, oh, it's like the filter in your body. And it is. It is a huge deal. But it does so much more than just filter your blood.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. I don't think we'll name all 500 of them, but it helps in producing bile, storing proteins, and
even distributing nutrients throughout your body and filtering, everything out.
Yeah,
course is a big one.
Balancing hormones is another big one,
including your thyroid, your estrogen, progesterone. It's all of your hormones.
That's right. It produces heat, so if you get cold hands and feet at night, it's actually a liver sign. A lot of people don't know that, but it does produce heat. And let's see, do we miss them all? Metabolizes fats, proteins, and carbohydrates, which is important. So anyway, I also think it's important to discuss that there's no machine or chemical that can replace the liver. Like if your kidneys are failing, you can go on dialysis, but the liver is not like that. There's nothing they can do if it starts to fail. Or
besides for giving you a new one.
Yeah, besides for getting a new one. And so I think it's really important to just understand how important the liver is and just everything that it does. There's also a connection between the liver and the hypothalamus. Where's our hypothalamus, Amory?
That's up in your brain. It's actually connected through the vagus nerve.
There you go. If one of them is toxic, the other one's going to be toxic. And so if one of them's missing nuts and bolts like nutrition, it's going to affect both of them. When people talk about there's a gut-brain connection, well, there is a liver-brain connection as well as far as the gut, because the liver has a lot to do with digestion as well. So there is that connection right there through the center of your body. I don't think a lot of people realize that as well. So I always think that's something really important that we bring up, because sometimes our bodies gets mixed signals. Like sometimes the liver might be sending a signal to the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus is looking at everything in your body, all your blood levels and everything. And it's like, the liver's telling me this, but I'm not seeing this, you know? And so it gets mixed signals. And so then it can cause problems with pituitary and, well, my thing is turning off. The hormone glands. This is actually where the T3 dummy is actually made, your RT3 dummy. You want to tell us about that?
So what happens is, like your liver manages your T3, your T4 and your T3. So everyone thinks that T3, it's your thyroid 3 hormone.
And it turns on?
And it turns on the mitochondria in your cells. And everyone thinks it's actually made in your thyroid. So when they test your thyroid hormones, it's the T3 and the T4 that they're testing. But what they don't tell you is that your liver, your thyroid actually only makes 20% of all of the T3 in your entire body. The other 80% comes from T4 that goes to the liver and is converted into T3. So when there's an issue with that conversion, it will send a signal up to the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus will be like, okay, we'll make our T3, which is a dummy, and so then your body thinks there's enough T3, but our T3 can't turn on the mitochondria in your cells, so you're actually not getting enough.
Yeah, so sometimes when they do blood tests, your levels are fine.
But they're not.
But in reality, they're not, yeah. So anyway, so let's maybe go over what are some signs of a sluggish liver. Because you can come into our brick and mortar store or somewhere else and have microscopy done, and they can tell you if your liver is sluggish. Really, medical doctors can only tell you when you're in liver failure, because your liver is absolutely fine until it's not. And then at that point, it's liver failure. And so microscopy is great because it can see early if you're having some liver issues, but there's a lot of signs out there that your liver is sluggish and needs help. And a lot of people experience these signs and don't even realize it. Yeah, so one of the first ones is if you wake up between 1 and 3 in the morning regularly, not just like once, but if you regularly wake up between 1 and 3, that's just a sign that your liver is struggling.
Another big one that people don't realize is allergies, and that can be seasonal allergies, food allergies, any allergies, but your liver is in charge of making histamine. And so when your liver is overworked, it is going to assume that everything is an allergy, and so you'll start to get lots and lots of allergies.
Yep, another one is acne, and this is like not just acne on your face, though it is acne on your face, but acne on your body as well is an indication that your liver is struggling. So if you got like that arm acne as sometimes people get, or on their back, that's a sign that your liver is sluggish and could use some help.
Another really big one that people don't know about is right-sided neck pain, shoulder pain, anything on that right side upper body actually goes back to the liver, because there's a ligament that directly attaches up to it. So when your liver's sluggish, it actually gets heavier and it's not moving with the body's natural movement. And so it gets really heavy and starts to pull on that. And so those right-sided headaches, neck pains, shoulder pain, between the shoulder blades, all of that can actually go back to the liver as well.
Your loss of smell. That's a liver one as well. A lot of people, when we had COVID going on, a lot of people talked about how they lost their smell. That's actually a liver sign. Since COVID, and I'm on a private Facebook group for people who just took in went to a certain school for microscopy. And because it's out of the UK, it's people all over the world. And one of the things that's been discussed on there is the increase of people who need liver cleanses since COVID. Before, it used to be like maybe 20% of the people who came into our clinic would need a liver cleanse. Now, it's like 80% of the people that come into our clinic need liver cleanses. And a loss of smell is actually a sign that your liver is sluggish. So I think that's really interesting how they correlate with each other.
Another really big one is light sensitivity, and really anything to do with your eyes. If your eyes are getting worse, or like your vision, your contacts, your prescriptions are changing, that actually also goes back to the liver.
You mean I'm not just getting old?
No.
I'm
A lot
actually
of people-
doing a liver cleanse right now, but go ahead.
A lot of people assume that they're getting old and that they need the glasses, but really it's just your liver's just collecting more and more and more toxins, and it has to find an outlet to put it. That's why the acne is a big one. That's also dull skin and dry skin and your
Oily hair. Yeah.
It's because when your liver is so sluggish or there's so many toxins, it has to find another way to get rid of the toxins besides for through the blood and through urine. And
So it pushes them out to the skin.
Pushes them out to the skin. And so that's why that's a really, really big one. And your eyes are another way that it can push it out quickly.
Yep. They'll find the weakest link, and that's really where you'll get symptoms from it.
Your body wants you to heal, and so it's going to give you symptoms where you're going to notice it most. That's why a lot of women, their symptoms start with weight gain or something going on with their skin, because that's where they are going to notice it. Whereas men, it's going to be more pain oriented, more low back pain or things like that, old injury pain, because that is where they are going to notice that there's something wrong.
Well, bringing up men, a lot of men actually have prostate issues. It's actually the second leading cause of death in men out there. And something you need to realize is that, and we've done videos on this, is that you can't fix the prostate without first fixing the liver. It's more of a liver issue affecting the prostate than it is the prostate itself. And so if you're having prostate issues, you really do need to help your liver out.
So now that we've told you all that it does and all the problems that can go on in your body,
Well, and sometimes even just simple things like yellow in the corner of your eyes.
or
You know.
yellowing in the skin, it's a really big one.
Yeah,
You know, jaundice for babies, that's a liver issue.
it is. So now babies you would treat differently though than
Babies
adults.
you would treat differently, but the symptom of yellowing
Yes,
is
there you go. All right, okay. So how are we gonna fix this?
There's a lot of different ways you can fix your liver. That's the amazing thing about your liver, is that it can regenerate itself, it cleans itself, it takes care of itself, but you have to give it what it needs. You can do that through diet, movement, you know, getting the proper body work.
Yeah,
And, you know, you have to get
there's
the
a
right
lot of
things.
different ways you can do it.
Um,
Some of the supplements, actually the only supplements we recommend is Fiducia Apothecary. And it is because we used to actually use different supplements because they were easier to buy than to go make a whole bunch of them. And the problem is though, they stopped working when we were doing the blood, looking at microscopy in the blood. And it used to be it would clean up, they're called fibrin lines that you see, and they stopped cleaning them up and people were coming back in with still liver issues. And so anyway, Fiducia Apothecary, we started using them, and they take care of your sluggish liver. But you know,
and
a
it's
lot of
gentle,
people,
which is so good.
yeah, it is so good because it is gentle. Because sometimes people come in and or text us and they think that a liver cleanse should be like you can't leave the bathroom for 3 days, and that is actually does more harm to the body than good. And
Your body's already stressed out.
Mhm.
When you need a liver cleanse,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
already under stress.
remember, it does 500 different functions.
So when you go and you just stress it out even more and you deplete it of all of these nutrients, then you're really putting yourself back instead of forward. So yes, the Fiducia one, it takes longer than 3 days, but you can go about your daily life and you actually feel better. You don't feel so tired after it. You don't have to rebuild your liver after, because it is a 2-part system. It's a cleanse and it's a support, which again, I'm a big fan of, because if you're cleansing an organ, you should be supporting it at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And then it is, yeah, it's an AM and PM. It's pretty easy to follow. So we really like them. Okay, what are some foods?
Some foods. Well, food is really, really important, but apples, lemons, onions, oranges, really any of your root vegetables, carrots, beets are fabulous. Your liver loves those high mineral foods.
No, Well, and they like fatty foods too, like
Yes.
fish, good fish,
Mhm.
olive oil, things like that.
Olives, egg
Mhm.
yolks. A lot of people.
Organic buttermilk.
A lot of people think, oh, my liver's struggling, I should go away from the fats because of its connection with the gallbladder.
Mhm.
And that's not true. You actually need healthy fats to maintain a healthy liver and a healthy gallbladder. And yes, avocados, artichokes, those types of things are really where you want to get them.
So some food that is not so good for the liver, maybe you want to think of avoiding for a bit if you're struggling with it.
Obviously, alcohol is a really, really big one. It's a toxin to your body. Caffeinated beverages, coffee, fried food, spicy food,
Chocolate
sugars,
bars.
bars.
Sulfites, though, are a big one as well.
Sulfites are a huge deal, and they don't realize how much they're in.
Oh yeah,
They're
like
in mustard, they're in
vinegars,
they're in
frozen vegetables.
Even like jams and jellies and like
Oh yeah,
just
mayo and applesauce.
Like
and
if it's canned, it probably has sulfites.
yeah,
in it.
that's why it's really important to read labels. People don't realize this. They think they're eating healthy, and then they flip it over to read the labels to find out this is not healthy. And even food that you buy in a health food store is
Yes.
not always healthy.
We actually had that happen here in the natural grocers. There was some people complaining all over Facebook that they're like, oh, all the food there isn't organic. They lied. And Natural Grocers is like, no, we don't claim that everything is organic. Fruits and vegetables are organic, but that doesn't mean every granola bar we carry is. And a lot of people just assumed that because it's a health food store, everything in it is healthy for you. And that's not the case, unfortunately.
No, that is not the case for sure. I know I go to different health food stores for different things because one health food store here sells acai to make, acai bowls, but it has sugar in it. And the other one, same brand, does not have sugar at the other health food store. But you find that, so sometimes you have to go to one health food store because they have this thing that you want, and then you go to another one because there's something which makes for a lot of errands, which I don't always love, but I feel like if I'm going to purchase it, I want it to be something that I can eat and can be healthy for me, and hence sometimes I run a lot of errands. Actually, really, if it's just a store I go to for a couple of things, I end up buying a lot of it, so then I don't have to go as frequently. So let's quickly talk about liver cleanses. I think it's really important to know that to clean the liver. It used to be, we would tell people to just take the toxins out, just eat all natural, and it would be enough. But really anymore, it's not enough. There's so many toxins in our air, in our water, 5G. I mean, I don't care what social media site you're on.
It's negativity.
If you're on social media, it's toxic. And so really, we have moved to where we really encourage people to do a whole body cleanse twice a year. And the liver is part of it. It's the last part of that. And I do it twice a year. Emery has not because she has been pregnant this last 9 months. She's now not pregnant anymore, has her little baby boy. But it is something that I really do encourage people to do. And if I get people in here that have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or sometimes I get recovering alcoholics in here whose eyes are starting to turn yellow and they're starting to have some major liver suggestions, I'll tell them to do a liver cleanse 3 to 4 times the first year to just kind of cleanse and support it, and then to let it rest. Cleanse and support it, let it rest. And I think that's really important to realize is that, this isn't something, if you're cleansing correctly, again, we support and cleanse. You can go about your whole day being on a liver cleanse from Fiducia. It's something that actually is you're helping to build and support your liver and cleanse it out at the same time. And some people need that extra support that first year, and then after that just do a cleanse twice a year. So I think that's something to know and to be aware of. You just can't do it once and be done.
Well, you change your filter in your car.
Oh yeah.
every time you go get an oil change.
Yep. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you have to clean the main filter in your body?
Yeah, exactly.
It's getting more toxins than your car. But I think a lot of people, we've used this analogy before, that they think that they're just a passenger on their health plane.
Mm-hmm.
But really, they are the pilot, and unless you take control of that plane, it's going to crash.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to take care of yourself, and part of that is doing cleanses twice a year. That doesn't mean it has to be crazy cleanses.
Can't leave the bathroom
Can't
for
leave
the
the
whole
bathroom.
weekend. Yeah.
Like this one here from Fiducia we love, because you can go about your daily life and it actually works. It doesn't leave you further back. It actually pushes you further ahead. But you have to take that control and that initiative, because if you just keep waiting and waiting, you're just going to end up sicker and sicker. So you have to be the pilot on this plane.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's end. I love that the liver has remarkable regenerative powers. That if the disease isn't too far advanced, if you give the body what it needs, or the liver itself, it can repair itself. And I think that goes for the whole body. If you give the body what it needs, it can repair itself. I do believe that God has given us everything here we need. We just have to figure out how to use it. And that really is the key, and what is really good to use and going to be beneficial to us and not. So anyway, it's all a journey that we're learning and continuing to go through. So, all right.
Thanks for joining us.
If you guys have any questions on the liver, let us know. Thanks.